Following the horrible assassination of Charlie Kirk, I keep hearing sincere people declaring that this isn't America. But the truth is, this is and always has been an element of America. And we have to tell that story honestly, not to condemn, but to understand and know better how to make it better. My own family story reflects that truth from the founding. I'm descended from people who left their homes in Europe in the 18th century and came here to carve out a life with three tools: an axe, a shovel, and a gun. In South Carolina's Revolution, here we didn't experience the romantic ideals of Lexington and Concord. Here, it was bloody chaos. It was frontier civil war, neighbor against neighbor. And in the backcountry of South Carolina, the divide cut so deep that one road became a symbol locally in my hometown of Prosperity. On one side were German families loyal to the crown, and on the other, Scotch-Irish rebels. And for 40 years after independence, that road was still called the Dead Road. And here's the irony. I'm descended from both sides, rebels and loyalists, killers and the killed. That was America then, fractured, bloody, and divided. And yet, out of that conflict came a national charter that reflected those complexities. The Constitution was designed with those type of divisions in mind, dividing power between local, state, and federal so that no one faction could destroy the whole. That is the foundation of our constitutional order and our civil discourse. After the Revolution, something else happened. We flourished, we expanded, we pushed westward with ambition and at gunpoint. Native peoples were forced further and further away, their villages destroyed, so European settlers could plant farms and build their own villages. We did not simply inherit this land, we conquered it. And with that conquest did come settlement, commerce, and more civil life until the Civil War. Those old divisions became catastrophic and passions ran so hot that 1 in 5 fighting age men in my state of South Carolina never came home except in a pine box. 20% of these men. And even after freedom came to the enslaved, thousands of Black Americans were lynched for daring to claim their own dignity. And when people today look back at the 60s, the riots, the assassinations, the unrest, they often act as if that decade was uniquely violent and comparing it to now. But that reflects an unfortunate misunderstanding of our history again. America has endured violence in every decade of its existence. The difference is that by the 1960s, mass media could beam it into every home, making all of us witnesses. For some communities, especially Black and Native, the violence was nothing new. What changed was that everyone else could finally see it. Constitutional law has at times managed to tamp down the demons of our culture and elevate the better angels of our nature. I know this personally. I was born in South Carolina where the Black woman who raised me couldn't sit in a waiting room with me at the doctor's office. She had to wait in a small room around back. Today, my children never saw that, and Jim Crow is a distant memory. That's not because people changed overnight. It's because the system, the law, and the courage of citizens forced the change that was necessary. America was also defined by its frontier, a place where people could move and reinvent themselves, but also where some of them, their darkest instincts toward violence ran wild. My generation grew up with that legacy on television. Westerns like The Rifleman and Gunsmoke showed us the tension, the outlaw who thrived on chaos, and the lawman who held to principles so that community could survive. These images became the archetype of America around the world, our very unique contribution to the human experience. Those stories echo deep truth that without law, America reverts to blood. And with it, we build civil society. That's why our founders built the framework they did. Representative democracy channels passion into debate. Federalism lets states govern while binding us to a larger whole. Checks and balances keep ambition in check. This system is far from perfect, but it adapts, it bends, and can arc toward true justice. And when we are brave enough, it does correct itself. So when violence erupts today, stop saying it isn't America. It has always been part of America. The real question is whether we allow the darkness to define us again, or whether we recommit to the framework that elevates us above it. Because I've seen the change in my own lifetime. I've seen what is possible when law and liberty overcome fear. But when fear overwhelms us, the darkness always returns. America has always been both outlaw and lawman, both bloodshed and covenant. That is not a reason to despair. It is a reason to hope, because our system gives us the tools to choose which America we will be. And I choose hope, aspiration, and the revival of our republic. Take care.